Hello, friends. It's Chop. Today we will be discussing the much maligned inventor of the microphone, Adolf Hitler, and why he's gotten really like a bad rap, and we're hopefully going to resuscitate the reputation of leader of the German National Socialist Party, Adolf Hitler. Joining us to discuss this topic is, of course, Ben Mackenzie. Ben, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on. This is such an important topic for me to discuss. I appreciate it.
Ben, first question. Do you think that bipolar men should be allowed to see their kids?
Man, it's like painful to watch. Can we not, you were making this point earlier, can we not put that guy on TV ever again, please?
Well,
Dear
I mean, the
God.
funny thing that's happening right now is all the people putting him on TV and their shows are like just so desperate for his attention and the sort of stamp of approval of someone who does have actual cultural power and popularity that they've all put themselves in a horrible position now of having to like nod along sagely when he says things like the Nazis had some good ideas, or risk offending the horrible audience that they've cultivated for themselves over the last couple of years.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to them. I hope they can make it work.
Prayers up for Tim Pool, everybody. His beanie. He should get a propeller on top of that beanie the way he's been going. No. Just of course, this is a long way of setting up and introducing our guest. I think now, as a returning guest, you can fairly be described as the official Chapo crypto correspondent. Ben, welcome to the show.
I love it. That's an unpaid position, right?
Of course. Gotta get that clear.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
cool.
well, you will be paid in Chapo tokens.
Yeah, baby. Give me those sweet CPTs. You can mint 10 billion of them. I want at least half. Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here to talk about all things crypto. So, has anything been happening? I haven't been following the news. I've been writing a book. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, we pitched this as a big victory lap because of the lightning quick collapse of FTX and the Wicker Man like scenario going on right now with Sam Bankman-Fried. And I guess I just want to, like, as someone who follows this stuff, I think I'd like to start in like the broadest possible terms. What was FTX? How is it supposed to work, and what led to its spectacular collapse?
Well, fraud seemed to have led to its spectacular collapse, but which is good for me considering that's what I'm writing a book about. But yeah, so FTX was like a big crypto exchange. You know, if you watch sports, it was impossible to ignore them. They had, the rights to the Miami Heat arena, FTX arena, excuse me, for as long as that lasts. They had the Major League umpires uniforms. The first time they've ever given like a patch for the uniforms, which is pretty hilarious. They were like literally buying off the umps, which I thought was cool. They are, so yeah, he's running an exchange. It's run out of the Bahamas. He was also running this thing called Alameda Research, which is not a research firm, of course. It's a trading firm. And the thought was like, well, obviously conflict of interest. You're owning a firm that's trading on your own exchange. That would never be allowed in a regulated marketplace. But everyone assumed Sam was actually like the smart one of the group. Admittedly, somewhat of a dubious prize in crypto, but still, like, he was the guy who, had it all figured out and was probably doing all sorts of shenanigans that he would probably get away with and making a ton of money. And then lo and behold, we figure out, oops, he actually has gambled away, lost all of the money, and not just the money from Alameda that he'd taken from venture capitalists, but regular people's money that had put it on FTX. So
yeah, I thought, like, the infamous podcast appearance when he was on Odd Lots.
Yeah,
well, with Joe Weisenthal and Tracy Alloway, very good show, where he describes yield farming, and he basically just describes a Ponzi scheme.
Yes,
and by virtue of him nakedly knowing that, I was like, oh, maybe he'll be like the JP Morgan in 2009 of this industry, because he appears to know that it's just nothing. That right. It's like that there's nothing you can do on the blockchain that you can't do better on existing technologies. But yeah, it turns out, like all of these guys, like everyone nowadays, he did not want to actually be making money on the thing he was supposed to be making money on. He thought he was too smart for that and completely ruined everything.
Well, one of the fucking hilarious things about him being called the JP Morgan of crypto is that JP Morgan, so what they're referencing is 1907, and when JP Morgan had to like basically get this group of rich dudes to like bail out all of these banks that were falling apart. Well, Morgan laid bare the fact that you needed a central bank. Like the failures of the system prior to having a central bank is one of the reasons like we created this trusted third party, which crypto is like dead set on like taking away, right? It's trustless. Like it's just you and me. We're just gonna transact directly, except we're also gonna have to run it through a Bahamas-based shell corporation in the Caribbean. Like it's all just like nonsense. It's like whoever Satoshi was, whatever his he or they were doing, like what it's become is online poker 2.0, right? It's the same thing that they were doing, and there's a lot of the same players involved. People are like shuffling money through shell corporations overseas, and ultimately it always falls apart because they're always cheating and robbing people. And we're just doing it bigger this time. 40 million Americans bought this crap.
But like the exchange part, and then there's the Alameda research part. I guess like in a really, really question, like a crypto exchange is essentially it's a portal through which the retail crypto investor purchases crypto coins or tokens or something like that. Was this an exchange for all kinds of cryptocurrency or just one specific kind of cryptocurrency?
No, yeah. You could trade anything or a lot of different things. I mean, they all have their own listing standards. They also take money to list a coin, right? And pretty openly, like it's basically like pay to play kind of thing, which is pretty interesting. And you can trade any crypto on there. Now, an exchange should never go bankrupt, right? Because if you're just operating an exchange, all you're doing is literally taking the difference between, the spread of like, you're taking a tiny cut of the volume, and like you should always have the money, right? But if you're running what in the 1920s was called a bucket shop, where you didn't actually do the trades, right? You like told people you were running the trades, but in fact you were lying, then, who the hell knows where the money went. Now, it's unclear exactly how this all went down. There's reporting out there that Alameda had lost $3.7 billion already, even in this massive run up to like was already broke. But what seems to have happened is that like he either made some bad bets or something went haywire with Alameda, and he took customer funds from FTX from the exchange to bail out Alameda. Alameda was supposed to be doing like these market making services, like basically providing liquidity so that like there's a bid-ask spread and people could like trade these coins. But, it sounds like it was all just shenanigans, man. It was all just like, it was all a lie. Like they had no accounting department. They had no P&L statement. Like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking kidding.
What was Elon Musk in charge of this? Let everyone go and payroll and accounting.
Yeah, he's a takeover bid, I'm sure, is like on the horizon.
But yeah, so for the average person, right? They saw the Super Bowl ad, and they also, part of the thing that's fascinating about Sam Bankman-Fried is like, just like coming out of nowhere, like seemingly came out of nowhere. This weird, very kind of like unappealing looking dork, became, and with FTX, the face of what was billed as the reliable, responsible adult fake money casino. But essentially what was happening is that like for the person who saw the ad on TV and then bought a token and had money in an account on FTX, that Alameda Research, with like apparently what's alleged to be backdoor code written into the architecture of the entire thing itself, had their accounts emptied and had that money being used to place very risky bets on other forms of cryptocurrency or just pure gambling with the money that was in people's FTX accounts.
Yeah, and then some of that money reportedly made it into accounts that Sam controlled. Like he gave himself loans. He gave himself $1 billion loan. He gave this other guy that worked for him a massive loan, several other people. So some of it looks like he literally was taking money that he'd gotten, like reportedly took $300 million of a $400 million meme round of investing and just like put it in an account for himself and was like buying real estate for his parents and like or under his parents' name.